Hey everyone, Techne here. What I'd like to talk about today is the Canon T7i versus the Canon 77D DSLRs and why I chose the 77D over the T7i. Now just a quick note here, I am no professional photographer by any means, not even close. I am just your average Joe shopping at your electronics store or online for a nice DSLR, trying to get into the hobby and get quality video and quality photos. So again, I'm not going to be talking any details like the processor, the sensor, or the lenses, or any of this who's a what's it, these crazy numbers, you know what I mean? I'm just going to be talking, hey, what are the differences from the T7i and the 77D and why I decided that? Because honestly, as far as pictures and video, they're both the exact same. They got the same sensors, the same megapixels, all the same technical mumbo jumbo. They're the exact same thing inside. It's the outside features that'll be different. Now, as far as weight, the 77D is a pinch heavier. Not much by any means at all, but it's noticeable, but minor, incredibly minor. So if you're thinking about which one to get for travel or anything, again, you're not going to really notice a difference in the weight. Alright, so let's get into some of the bigger differences. As you're looking at these, again, we got the T7i over here, the Rebel, and over here we have the 77D. And I mean, just looking at these shots, you can probably already point them. It's like almost like a Where's Waldo, right? What can you see different in this picture compared to this picture? Circle all the ones you find. But no, seriously, obviously over here on the 77D, you got this digital screen, which is it's really nice. And again, I'm just a beginner, guys, but even after me using a DSLR quite a bit, I like shooting in manual mode, which I'm sure you will eventually as well. And it's really nice to have your quick guide up there, whether you're shooting pictures or video, right? It'll give your ISO and all your other settings right up there, so you don't have to go into the menu of the screen of the camera. It's bam, right there, take your shot or shoot your video. So that is, as minor as that sounds, it's a huge difference, and you really see this in more of the high-end pro DSLRs. Now, number two, what I'm going to point out is our scene select or our picture mode knob, which is over here on the left side on the 77D and over here on the right side on the T7i. Now, that really doesn't make a difference. Like I said, over here, it's nice because you got the screen, so you can adjust all your settings and everything right there with that thumb, and then you got over here where you can adjust that. So that's really minor. Again, they both adjust to the same thing, so that's nothing major, but it is on the opposite side, like I said, to create the screen thing. Now, where you're going to get different here, and I'm going to scooch this one just to squeeze closer here. I don't know if you can really see, but there is, you can see the little shiny thing in the middle. There's a little button in there, so as you see right now, I cannot turn it. But when I press the button, oh, there we go. Then I can turn it. So you're not going to get any accidental slippage right there. You know, you got to press the button in to actually turn it. Where on the T7i, it just automatically goes to whichever one you desire. So that's kind of nice, little safety feature. You don't got to worry about it accidentally slipping on you when you're shooting your shot. You'll always be in your setting. All right, now here's one other thing that I think is really cool. It's so minor, but it makes such a big difference in my opinion again. Now, it's kind of hard to see because it's so small, but right over here, you have your on-off right over there. Your on-off and movie right by your control knob where you adjust your scene on the T7i, that is. Over here on the 77D, your on-off is right underneath, recessed underneath the knob, rather than being a big button right there that's almost flush with your scene knob or your shooting mode knob. So again, it's so minor, but in my opinion, the feature is so great to have, because if you're just flopping through, oh hey, let me get the action shot, let me shoot this flower or whatever right over here, it's nice because you're not accidentally going to hit your button over there. And when on this one, if you change it, you almost got to just kind of watch out for that button. It's not a massive nuisance, but again, it's there. One other cool thing on the 77D that the T7i doesn't have, you have this AF on, autofocus on button right here. So if you're taking a shot or a video, you just press it, bam, and you get a quick focus right there. That feature is not on the T7i. You have to be on a screen where you can touch the screen and it'll focus wherever you want it to be, which the 77D does as well on the screen. But again, you have that button back there, which is just a nice feature because you have your screen open, bam, just press that, and you're good to go. One other thing we're going to talk about here, as you can see over here, and you can probably spot this one, again, another Where's Waldo, right? You got your menu buttons right over here that you cycle through. you'll press your menu and then control it through here. When on the 77D, you have a wheel. So you can be right in your menu and you have your wheel, your enter button in the middle, which is again over here, which honestly, I really love the wheel. It makes navigating through the menu just so much easier, or adjusting your settings. It's right there. It's just truly easy, because honestly, like, these buttons are really into the camera. They don't poke out much, you know, so it's kind of like you can't really decipher them, and it's almost like you almost end up fat fingering some of the other buttons, or at least I do, you know. But again, the wheel makes such a big difference for it being such a minor feature, right? And then also down here, you can lock it so you can't accidentally adjust anything while you're shooting or anything like that, when again, the T7i does not have that lock feature. Now again, I just wanted it to be a quick difference. I'm sure I might have missed a couple of things here and there, but the noticeable difference you're going to see from the T7i to the 77D are those features I showed you on there. And as minor as some of them may sound, they make a big difference. And I think you'll be a lot happier, again, where, you know, I think if you're looking at these, you're kind of getting started into DSLR as myself, or maybe your second upgrade or something, and some of these other features really make that difference to help you get that better shot or video and make it a lot easier, you know what I mean? Now the biggest thing, like, we're noticing these differences, right? Again, you might be thinking, it doesn't really matter. And again, as I stated before, they make a huge difference. But at point of me purchasing these, the 77D is only $50 more than the T7i, right? At the time of me shooting this, the 77D is only $50 more than the T7i. And honestly, those features are well worth it. And I've watched a lot of reviews, other reviews of these two cameras online, and everyone always suggested go the T7i, go the T7i, go the T7i. And you know what? I would probably agree with that when these cameras came out, which I think the majority of those, you know, reviews that I was watching were. Probably, because I'm sure the T7i was much cheaper than the 77D, right? But now, in the market right now, with the price difference, I'm sure Canon's got some new ones coming out eventually, but, like, don't even consider the T7i. Trust me and go with the 77D. I think you're going to be extremely happy. Now, just a little side note here. I also considered getting the, I believe it was the 80D, right? The Canon 80D, which is a step up above this guy. And it's a little older camera. I believe it had the older processor, this, that, and the other. It has some cool features, right? Like the weatherproof, this, and the other. I tell you what, I went to the store and put that thing in my hand. I mean, that thing is gigantic. Like, you can watch videos on it and they show you the size, but it really, you can't feel the size difference until you get that sucker in your hands. I mean, that thing is a beast. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that camera has some better features and shots and whatnot, but again, I think for us looking for this mid-range or starter DSLR, I think the 77D is the way to go, especially at the current price point. All right, one other side note. I know I kept saying, like, I just want to keep this short with these, right? I got side note 1, side note 2, but I promise this is the last side note, okay? And I just want to let you know this, because if you're looking at these cameras, you're around that price range, you're probably considering this as well. I also have the Nikon D5600, which is what I'm shooting this video on right now. And honestly, like, the Nikon shoots a fantastic picture, but let me tell you what, that Nikon is tough to use. Again, for a noob like myself, I don't know much about DSLRs. I'm just kind of learning here. And I mean, you can tell in some of my previous videos, you can tell the quality is different in some of them, because every time I shoot a video, I'm learning something new. And honestly, these DSLRs that I have or use, they 90% of the time, if not more, I am just using them for video, right? 99% of the time, I'm using my DSLRs for videos, not really shooting pictures. Every now and then I will, but honestly, like, I don't want to lug this around, you know, to take pictures. I just use my cell phone, right? But for video, this is all I use. And I was using the D5600, and it just wasn't nearly as good as the Canon. I'd hate to say. It's a fantastic camera, so I don't think I'm bashing here. Took a great picture. I absolutely love the pictures. Almost a little better than the Canon, I gotta say, as far as pictures. So minor that I still wouldn't recommend you going with the Nikon, the D5600. I'd still point you in the direction of the Canon, because it was that much of a minor difference. But as far as video, the Canon blows the Nikon out of the water by a long shot. And where that's gonna come in is the autofocus. Like the autofocus on the D5600, it kind of like jumps in. I don't know if I can make it do it right here. No, I don't think I can make it do it. But anyways, if you're on it and you're trying to catch a different subject right there, it'll go bzz, 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 right? Is that good sound effects? I don't know. But it'll jump a little bit. Don't get me wrong, the Canon goes in and catches it, but it's a smooth motion, right? It automatically gets your focus. When the Canon, right? So the Canon's going to go straight smooth. The Nikon will be more or less like, you know, it'll go in, out, and then catch your focus, right? So constantly like that, you see the jumping, you really notice it on your videos, and it's like, shoot, man, now I need to edit that out, you know what I mean? So again, as far as video, 110% go with the Canon. Even go T7i before you go to D5600 if you're looking mainly for video. If you're looking for pictures, I think you'll be happy with any of them, you know what I mean? But why not spend that little bit of extra money and have a complete package is where I think, right? Because the D5600 is right around the same price as these guys, maybe a little bit cheaper. And if you're looking for that price range, again, I think you'll be extremely happy with the Nikon if you're just shooting pictures. But if you're shooting video, again, guys, I can't recommend that at all. It was such a pain in the butt. It's not easy to use. The Canon really holds your hand through anything. Again, for a newbie like me, the Canon is just, it's so easy to learn with and to start with. And again, if you're looking in this class, like I said before, go with the 77D. I think you'll be really happy with your choice. But all right, everyone. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I highly appreciate it. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up and subscribe for some future videos. Hey, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye now.